KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adahi Tanu program. Cars Plus reminds you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads up, Guam. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Ahead on Primetime, attorneys are back in court for the potential sale of the Archdiocese of Agana's prime piece of property. Plus, a federal contractor that contaminated water after spilling jet fuel is given a reduced fine. Chris Barnett has the latest. And the U.S. Mint unveils the island's second quarter during a ceremony at Assun Beach Park.
Hafide and good evening. Attorneys in the clergy sex abuse scandal squared off today in a bankruptcy court hearing over the proposed sale of the former Redemptorist Mater Seminary. The Archdiocese says it has a buyer that's offering $5.3 million for the Jotnya property, but lawyers for the claimants say that's much too low. Nestor Lecanto reports.
The former seminary was described as the single most valuable property the Archdiocese is willing to sell to raise money for the sex abuse settlement claims. The church submitted a $5.4 million appraisal this week and received an offer of $5.3. Archdiocese attorney Ford Elsasser.
They're an all-cash buyer that seemed to be qualified and ready to close, and we think that brings a lot of value to the estate and gives us some money to start building a fund for the survivors.
But lawyers for the claimants are balking at the sale. They say it's critical to get maximum value for the property and plan to get their own appraisal, says attorney Robert Kugler.
We believe that the hotel's worth quite a bit more than what has been offered by this particular buyer, and we think that marketed to the right audience, we can recognize that value.
Do you have a ballpark figure of how much more you think it's worth?
You know, I don't know. I've got some guesses, but they're nothing more than guesses.
It's been listed for a year. There were 2 sales at higher prices where no money ever appeared at closing. And I think everyone on the island is familiar with the fact that no one has been able to make that property work for any reason since it was built. And I haven't heard anyone say that they can pay more and still make money.
But David Lujan, one of the lead attorneys for the claimants, has criticized the deal as a scheme.
It's patently ridiculous, and David knows that, so there's no scheming here at all.
Judge Francis Tidinko Gatewood cautioned the lawyers to maintain civility in their filings and in the courtroom. A hearing on the sale is rescheduled for May 31st. Meanwhile, the pace is picking up toward the court's goal of quick settlements. The deadline for claims is now August 15th, and a list is being compiled of potential panel members from the Ninth Circuit, and mediation could begin in just a few months.
But I'm hopeful that certainly late September would seem to be a good opportunity here.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
The trial will be rescheduled for executives of Guam Medical Transport, the company accused in a $32 million federal fraud case. Clifford and Nicholas Shoemake and Kimberly Casey Connor were charged in 2016 of filing fraudulent ambulance transportation service claims with Medicaid and TRICARE. In a status hearing today, their attorneys said they're still waiting for thousands of pages of documents they need from the Center for Medicaid Services and GMH. Meanwhile, the defense also clashed with prosecutors over witness Mary Colasar. Both sides plan to question the former medical billing clerk during trial. And while the prosecution will pay for a trip to Guam, the defense has also subpoenaed her to make sure she's available when they need her to. Judge Francis Tidinko Gatewood suggested they subpoena Colasar when she gets here rather than have U.S. Marshals serve a subpoena in Pittsburgh. The defense concurred. The judge also vacated a June 25th trial setting but ordered the sides back for another status hearing on May 16th. Nicholas Uggan appeared for his arraignment hearing in the district court today and pled not guilty. Uggan was indicted earlier this week accused of trying to distribute 500 grams of meth. His trial was set for July 10th with a pretrial conference scheduled for July 3rd. A 17-year-old male Southern High School student was taken into custody in connection to a break-in and theft of a firearm at the Santa Rita campus. As reported, a firearm and ammunition were stolen from the vehicle and resulted in a lockdown on Thursday. The teenager was taken into custody by juvenile investigators, interviewed, and later confined at DYA. He is being charged with burglary to a motor vehicle, theft of property, and possession of firearms without a firearms ID. Guam Department of Education spokesperson Isa Baza did confirm the vehicle belongs to an employee who is under investigation. Calling all students, parents, and community members who are concerned about safety in our public schools. Next week, the Governor's School Safety Partnership will be holding meetings seeking input. The first will be held on Monday, May 6th at Liguan Elementary School, Tuesday the 7th at Carbolito Elementary, and then on Wednesday at Inarohan Elementary School. All meetings begin at 6 p.m. In light of recent events involving criminal sexual conduct, the Paul Moffness Jr. case, and the fact that a majority of all rape cases reported last year involved Guam's children as victims, Senator Therese Terlahi is bringing together members of the judiciary, mental health professionals, members from the Guam Bar, the AG's office, the Public Defender Service Corporation, Department of Corrections, and the Parole Board to discuss gaps in the system. Specifically, she is looking at answers as to whether there is really treatment for sexual offenders, whether there's a need for stricter sentences, and the processes in which are in place the Parole Board uses to grant parole. The roundtable is scheduled for Monday at the Guam Congress Building in Hagåtña. Guam EPA is about to close the books on a case involving a DoD contractor that spilled jet fuel and contaminated water, forcing the removal of tons of soil in 2017. The federal contractor is worth billions, but the local agency reduced its fine, a virtual slap on the wrist. Chris Barnett has more.
Federal contractor NOCO has paid its fine to Guam EPA. The contractor fined $70,000 from GEPA's Hazardous Waste Management Program, $10,000 from the agency's Solid Waste Management Program, and NOVA also forced to pay $19,500 after the company didn't meet a timeline for a supplemental environmental project, and the value of that project was converted to a cash fine.
This is related to a product release of 110 gallons of jet fuel. As a result of that, compliance orders from the agency required NOVA to remediate the site, and that led to an excess of 500 tons of soil being removed and replaced in the affected area.
According to GEPA docs obtained by KUAM News by way of Freedom of Information Act request, NOVA discharged over 110 gallons of jet fuel and contaminated water over a 5-month period from May to October 2017. However, the company did not report the incident until November 2017, but GEPA still did not levy the maximum statutory fine of $350,000. Instead, NOVA paid $99,500. Lee says this is because Guam EPA takes into consideration factors when calculating final fines.
The willingness to comply, to get back into compliance with the Guam environmental laws, and the nature of the work that was performed, it would appear that NOVA exceeded what the agency expected NOVA to perform, and so those things are taken into consideration.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Meanwhile, the agency is one step closer to calculating how much Andersen Air Force Base will be fined for using pool chlorination tablets to purify the base's public drinking water. Base personnel consume the chlorinated water, and the tablets are classified as a pesticide on Guam. Andersen only recently turned over daily logs to Guam EPA, and the agency will now examine those logs to determine a fine. Andersen is facing a $1,700 per day per violation fine. The governor has signed into law the rules and regs that allow for the return of games of chance at the Liberation Carnival. In a statement late Friday, the governor said she was pleased to sign the bill because it demonstrates that we can celebrate our island's liberation events now and in the future without risking precious resources that fund our government's priorities. But Vice Speaker Talina Nelson remains strongly opposed, calling it a Trojan horse for gambling that deceived the people of Guam. Nelson says under the guise of a penniless carnival, which had other options of funding, carnival organizers and some public officials placed their bets on gambling as a primary solution and didn't care to look down safer avenues. Village mayors have been strong supporters of the return of gambling to the carnival, saying it has been the biggest moneymaker for Liberation festivities. This year marks the landmark 75th anniversary. A special diploma presentation down south honoring Guam's greatest generation took place this morning. Here's more.
donning teal cap and gowns and smiles. Florin M. Paulino, Vicente C. Meno, Carmen M. Meno, and Maria C. Concepcion were presented honorary diplomas from Southern High School. In Rohan Mayor, Doris Flores Lujan.
Not only is May a Senior Citizens Month, we are also proud to say that these 4 recipients are war survivors, and we would like to remember the sacrifices they have made for their families.
In front of family, friends, Southern High staff, and dignitaries to include Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, all 4 were recognized for all they endured and all they had to sacrifice during the Japanese occupation, including an education. GEB Chairman Mark Mendiola.
It's just amazing to have you guys here. And if I had it my way today, I wouldn't be giving you this diploma. I would be giving you an honorary doctorate degree because you have a doctorate degree in life. And you are a true testament to life here on Guam. And I tell the Manamco, I said, you are walking history.
One by one, each graduate came forward and brief bios were read by Mendiola and GEB Vice Chair Maria Gutierrez. And while the bios were filled with details of the indescribable hardships they endured, it also told a story of survival and sacrifice, which ignited tears and laughter. Congratulations to the first graduates of 2019. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Jonah Goncharfris.
To apply or nominate someone you know, you can call GDOE Superintendent's Office at 300-1621. Stay tuned, we're back with more news after the break.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
This is a bag, but for Steve, this bag gives him food cred. Because now everyone knows that when they have that craving, or they're just looking for the perfect deal, well, they just need to follow Steve.
Follow him all the way to the new McTerry Deluxe at McDonald's. It's an all-beef patty smothered with teriyaki sauce topped with lettuce and tomato on a sesame seed bun. For a limited time, price and participation may vary.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
I am track winner.
I'm a boarder.
I'm a golfer.
I'm swimmer.
A neighbor.
I'm a teacher.
We are proud sponsors of Special Olympics Guam.
Let me win. Come on, win.
Let me be brave in the attempt.
Make a difference in an athlete's life. Be a part of Special Olympics Guam.
Keep our dreams alive.
Get involved today.
Welcome back. It's official. Guam now has 2 quarters to rub together. Chris Barnett was at the U.S. Mint's unveiling and has the story.
It's the second Guam quarter, the first depicting the image of our island, and this latest quarter release from the U.S. Mint shows American forces coming ashore at Asin Bay. U.S. Mint Director David Ryder on the significance of the new quarter's design and its relation to the upcoming 75th Liberation Celebration.
That ties into this great celebration of this beautiful island and the war heroes that are here. The U.S. Mint has about 46% military on its staff. So I'm glad to be here representing the Mint and the military.
The new quarter is the 48th overall in the Mint's America the Beautiful Quarters program. It is inscribed on its tail side with War in the Pacific and Guam. The Bank of Guam was on hand with thousands of dollars in the new quarters, and attendees lined up to change their money for new quarters. Ryder hinted at more Guam quarters on the way, and we asked if a Guam dollar was in the works anytime soon.
The dollar probably unlikely, but the quarters are going to be released, I believe, in June. So there'll be quite a lot here in the island for the citizens to have.
The Mint is fresh off a trip from Saipan, where they unveiled a new CNMI quarter. Their quarter features a young Chamorro girl in traditional attire wearing a marmar. Ryder said the CNMI's new quarter is one of the most beautiful ones we've done so far. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Ryder tells KUAM News a Citizen Coin Advisory Board selected Guam's quarter designs, and a previous governor had the final say in the new design. A pair of nonprofits are teaming up to combat the stigma against people with disabilities. Gathering at the Guam Museum, the spotlight was on disabled artists from all walks of life who shared their personal stories through the art of photography and poetry. Carmen Terlahi reports.
22-year-old Megan Boswell has a knack for poetry. She draws much of her inspiration from her faith in God and willingness to help others. One of her poems on display at the Guam Museum was titled People Struggling.
At my work, I see that people, my peers, I see that they struggle and they need the help. Sometimes I just want to talk to them to say that I'm here for you or God's here for you, and so they won't see it. Or you know how people don't show their emotions, but in their eyes, I could see that they're struggling, and I just want to help them.
Megan is just one of many artists with disabilities who showcase their talent at the art exhibition and conference sponsored by Guma Mami and Humanities Guahan. Silvestre San Nicolas tells KUAM he shines behind the camera.
It's all about the photography I do, the pictures I took that express myself.
All artists have been attending workshops to learn the creative process. The event hopes to break down the stigma against anyone with a disability and promote a community dialogue.
That people with disability can do anything they could. Even if they're autism or they can't see well or they can't hear well, they could still do what they could do for their dreams.
Believe in yourself. Don't let people treat who you are. Show them that you are you. Don't let people push you around. Don't let them bully you. Stand up for what's right.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Tirlaki.
Almost $2 million is heading Guam's way from grant money awarded by the Department of the Interior. A portion of the funds will go toward developing a formula focused on compacts of free association, a new grant management system for the Guam State Clearinghouse, and a digital archive system for the AG's office. On Saturday, a groundbreaking ceremony will be held for the Church of Latter-day Saints Temple in Jigo. It will be the first Latter-day Saint temple in Guam and is one of 39 under construction or announced. Currently, there are 162 temples around the world. Elder Yun Hwan Choi is the Asia North Area president.
It'll be finished around 1.5 years later, all the completion of this construction. And why the temple been built in Guam? The first thing I would like to say is because Heavenly Father loves people in the Guam and Micronesia. And as you see that as a Christian, Heavenly Father loves all of the people, but particularly the people in Guam and Micronesia need some special touch of the hand of the Lord.
Choi will be presiding over the groundbreaking services, which is scheduled for 10 a.m. at the corner of Marine Corps Drive and Mililac Drive in Jigo. The community is invited to attend. With regional headlines, here's KSPN 2 News.
Hafa-Day Guam, here are the top headlines for CNMI.
We feel pretty nervous, but excited and scared.
Mixed emotions amongst these 3 graduating seniors of Dr. Rita Hokog Enos Junior Senior High School in Rhoda, because next year they will be attending college far from home.
Next year, I will be attending my first year of college at Boise State.
And this was made possible through the Mariana's Young Professionals $1 Million Scholar Program.
The $1 Million Scholars Program has helped us here. First off, they brought us here for Decision Day, where we would declare our school tonight. They also helped us here by helping us with the process of applying to college and granting us a few scholarships that will really make it a lot easier on us to complete college.
And another reason this transition will be made easier for these 3 young women.
It's nice having people like surrounding you that come from the same island. It's basically like you're bringing a piece of you from your own home. Yeah. I think it's really, I really appreciate that we're actually going as a cohort.
Ready to take on this next chapter and reach for higher education. Do you know what you want to study? Anyone know?
Yes, psychology.
Psychology, okay.
Elementary education.
Okay.
And kinesiology.
And once they receive this education, they plan to come home.
We like to come back with more knowledge so that we can help our islands grow.
Helping the islands grow, this is something these students hold near and dear to their heart and plan to achieve.
We come from Rhoda and we do lack a lot of occupations that we really need, and we just want to help out so that way we can give back to our community.
And this has been the goal and driving force behind the $1 Million Scholars Program. Principal of Rhoda's High School, Tanya King, says she has been on the island for the past 28 years and has seen the lack of support system and financial means prior to this program.
Has been heartbreaking, but it was serendipitous that I bumped into Mr. G maybe about a month ago in the parking lot, and everything synchronized beautifully. And he came over and did a presentation, and with the wink of an eye, he came, presented to the students, and they declared that they wanted to go to Boise State. Were provided with very nice scholarships, and not only that, but another obstacle has been that they don't have the money to go there.
Principal King also highlights on the emotional support provided through the concept of college cohorts.
Coming from an island where family is integral, this will provide them with the support network by having one another. Will be very, very beneficial. And knowing these girls, these are the creme de la creme, they will, and very service-oriented. I know that once after they receive their experience, that they will come home and they will serve their island community.
Of the 55 students graduating in Rhoda, roughly 10 will attend college in the fall.
We are all first-generation college students in our family, and college seemed like a dream. Okay, it was unaffordable, and it didn't seem possible to attain. But when we heard of MDS, everything seemed to be a lot clearer. There's a lot of help from the cohort and the program, and completing college seems really, really possible right now. We're looking forward to representing our island and our Commonwealth when we get out. We want to share our culture, our experiences, everything, and bring it all back, what we learned from them.
Congratulations. The islands are proud of you. Reporting for KSPN 2 News, I'm Adriana Cotero.
For more news, visit SaipanTV.com. For KSPN 2, I'm Ashley McDowell.
Sports is right around the corner, but first, here is your weather forecast.
most delicious union of all time is now on Guam. Kentucky Fried Chicken and Waffles for limited time at KFC.
MTO, professional janitorial services with a warm hospitality touch. MTO gives that gift year-round. Pressure wash roofs, pressure wash driveways, lawn service, home cleaning, carpet restoration, office cleaning, commercial window cleaning, floor care. When cleaning is in order, MTO has you covered. Call 647-6861 to inquire on how you can receive the maintenance you deserve.
MTO, celebrating 30 years with you, Guam.
Visitors make memories on our island. They contribute millions of dollars every year to our community. So what does that mean? Tourism keeps our island's culture alive.
And it strengthens our identity as Chamorros.
Tourism creates opportunities for local businesses to thrive.
The dishes I create feature local ingredients.
These ingredients come from local farms and create local jobs for farmers like us.
For every job we see in tourism,
there are hundreds more we don't see.
From teachers
to babysitters
to engineers.
We all work in the tourism industry.
Our visitor industry benefits everyone. It improves our income and gives back to our community.
Meaning more opportunities for a better Guam.
Tourism works for Guam.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
We're here, Renzo Mingilao, for our Athlete of the Week. Today we have mixed martial arts fighter Ricky Camp. Dex?
Congratulations for being Renzo Athlete of the Week. And who would you like to present this check to?
Special Olympics Guam.
Tuesday, you weighed 157 pounds, having to cut down to 135 in just 4 days.
You wish, you appreciate water, you appreciate everything, like food and stuff like that. I just followed everything that J.J. Ambrose had to offer for me, like told me to take whatever I have to take, do whatever I had to do to make the weight.
And heading into that fight against Ricky Mandala from Hawaii, he went the distance in a couple of his fights. So heading into that fight, what was the game plan?
Man, the game plan was to try to set him off, man, to try to interrupt him and stuff, because, man, he comes forward, he comes with everything, So we were trying to break his rhythm, catch him off guard. And when I had the opportunity to take him down, I really knew that, like I said before, I was trying to put him on his back, and that's what we did.
And you're able to force the referee stoppage. And once the ref came in and broke up the fight, did you already think, I'm champion now, and where's my belt?
Oh, no, man. First thing I was thinking about, man, I was like, wow, I did it. I finished this guy. I'm champion and everything like that. Second of all, I went to go check him, this is a brutal sport that we do, I don't hate him, he don't hate me and stuff like that. So we have to show some good sportsmanship out there, He was humble from the weigh-ins to when he first saw me. And, from there, man, it was really good vibes from him and from me.
So you're the X1 135-pound champion. Did the organization already reach out to you and talk about maybe a title defense in the near future?
Yeah, they did. Man, they threw some names at me and stuff like that. I can't discuss it for who they threw at me and stuff like that. But they said, yeah, man, we have some good Hawaiian people that want, to test their skills out against me and stuff like that.
All right, congratulations. Stay tuned to our next Renzo Athlete of the Week.
KUAM Sports Athlete of the Week is brought to you by
WDI and Triple J met up at the Tamuning Gym for their GHRA Basketball League matchups. Steve Telly pulling up at the top of the key for the three-point shot. Irvin White with the pass to Scott Kurgan, who feeds his teammate for the bucket. 2 points for Triple J as the ball rattles in. Triple J careless on the pass. Russell Manabat comes up with the steal. Long pass down court to Jeff Manalastis, who gets ahead of the defense. Manalastis with 2 of his 13 points on the night. Rodman Samina getting his James Harden on. Samina hit 4 shots from long range, putting up a team-high 18 points. WDI working the ball around the corner to Manabat, who answers with the 3. Triple J pushing the ball off the turnover. Scott Kurgan taking it to the rack for the easy lay-in. WDI pulls out the win, 54-47. Telly drives and dumps the ball off to Rick Basila after drawing the double team for the last score here. The 2019 Bud Light Guam Women's Tackle Football League kicks off tomorrow at the UOG Field, with 4 teams making up this year's season. Legacy, Stunners, SB Saints, and the Sandalu Raiders are all vying for this year's championship title. Legacy will be the team to beat. Games for tomorrow, 11 in the morning, SB Saints taking on the Sandalu Raiders, and then 2 in the afternoon, it's Legacy versus the Stunners.
Legends aren't born, they are made. And during our Jeep Celebration event at Cars Plus and Mighty, you'll receive up to $6,000 in accessories with the purchase of a new Jeep Wrangler, Motor Trend SUV of the Year. Customize your new Jeep to the way you want it. Or how about a new Jeep Grand Cherokee? Save up to $5,000. Or save up to $7,500 on a new Jeep Compass Sport. It's our Jeep Celebration event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.